didn't want to have the Encompass shirt on.
What is up, Profitable Stylist? We are live this week. We are back. He is back. The man, the myth, the legend, Bernard Ori.
I've been gone for a while. I know. Did a lot of traveling. So, what's today about?
What are we talking about?
I heard a little bit, something about jokes.
I figured since you've been gone a couple of weeks, you've been on the road, you've been traveling, you've been very busy, I take it light on you. And we'd like to hear some stories about things you've heard of how clients are ruining their hair by trying to do it themselves at home. DIY projects at home for their hair care. I figured we'd have some fun this week and we'd talk about, lightheartedly why people are trying to do some of the things they're doing and then bring attention to all seriousness. Please stop doing that. You're messing yourself up.
Yeah. My favorite is the consultation with the color client who's wanting to.
Bless you.
Oh my God. You know how you got that feeling that you're going to sneeze and it just won't come out. But this client, they have no idea that I can read their hair like a book, like a map. And they're trying to tell me, seriously, like I don't already know. I said, so how does your color working now? Like who's doing your color? What color are you using? And they're like, well, I don't know if you can tell, but I do it at home. God, that's why I asked. I want to hear you say it. And then they start explaining it. And then I can tell what parts they're telling the truth on and what parts they're lying about. Because it's like the bands are just so I can tell that like they're buying a different color each time or 2 or 3 times in a row. They use the same color, but they put it all over their head each time. So you've got the darker band where it got colored another time, but the roots got colored the first time. And so there's these solid lines of demarcation. And then they decided to go lighter because their roots are lighter, but color doesn't lighten color. So then they got the dark band. They're trying to explain all this to me. And it's the hardest thing. I can't tell if it's funny or sometimes it makes me mad. Sometimes it just makes me laugh because I'm listening like, I already know this whole story. It's like right there on your head. And I'm going to let you tell it so that you think I'm being nice. But really, I'm thinking, can you not see how ridiculous you look? Something is going wrong. Do you think that looks good?
When people are doing their hair at home, there is the one part of it where they get really good around the hairline because that's what you could see in the mirror, right? But then when you get to the back of the head area, you don't see it so good. So sometimes it looks like a checkerboard back there. Sometimes there's big blotches missing.
Yeah.
And then to your point, when you've got the bands going through your hair, you overlap it one time accidentally, you overlap it another time accidentally, then one time you don't overlap it. 1 week you touch it up 1 week early, the next time you touch it up 3 weeks late. So you always have these different variations going through the hair. When you don't do something consistently, it's going to look off. You're always going to get inconsistent results. And then inevitably, somebody will go on social media and they'll see, oh, I pulled it through and I left it on for an hour and look how beautiful my hair came out. Well, yeah, your hair is black. And then the person watching this, their hair is brown. And they go to do it, and all of a sudden now they're too dark, so they start buying lighter formulas, thinking they got to go lighter.
Right.
It just adds to the chaos. I know exactly what you're talking about, and it's just, yeah, we're sitting here going, Mm-hmm. I wonder too. I wonder how that happened to you as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know why you look stupid. And then my favorite is I'll describe a little something, and they think like I read their mail, read their mind. I can tell things that they didn't say. I'll say, so when you color your hair, are you putting the stuff you mix together, you putting it all over your head each time you color your own hair? And they're like, yes. Yes.
and you had a dog named, Juju, and
Well, first they're thinking,
I'm hearing the calling.
some of them are saying it like, well, yes, that's how you color hair. You put it all over your head. I said, but all you have growing out is this color you don't like near your scalp, whether it's a lighter, darker color or gray. So you only need to color the hair that is the wrong color, right? And they're like, and some of them you just see thinking like they've never had their hair professionally colored potentially. So they don't even have a clue that there's a possibility that you would really take all that time and effort to just put color where it's needed. Because they saw that commercial once, and I hate to promote some other company, and I'm not even sure what brand it is, because they're just going to wash that gray right out of their hair. They had that commercial one time where they would show people, you just shampoo your hair with this color and the gray disappears. And apparently you do that maybe as often as you shampoo your hair, or maybe just as often as you need your gray covered. So you shampoo your whole head, and maybe it's a deposit only, mostly washes out type of semi-permanent color. And they're thinking they're going to do that, but they're using permanent color. So there's just but let me tell you the best one, the best one ever. And tell me if you've ever had this one. This lady comes in and she's mad. And she says, she comes in like 2 or 3 weeks later, and she's showing me her roots. And she said, your color faded right off of where you put it. And I said, that's grow out. And you know what she said? My hair grows from the ends.
What?
My hair gets longer from the ends. And I'm thinking, you obviously have had your hair colored before. Are you making this stuff up? Do you think I believe that? Did you lose your mind and this is a new idea? But she said that her hair grows from the ends. And so she's showing me where you put color here, and now it's been a few weeks and it's faded right off. So I needed to redo it for free.
Okay.
And I don't remember. I don't remember if I just did it or not. Sometimes people are old enough and you just like, you know what? I feel sorry for this old lady and her beliefs. I'm just going to go ahead and help her get what she wants or needs. Make her day. It's no sweat off my back. I got the extra time. Maybe I was having a nice day and I just did it. I don't really know what the answer was. But that was one of the funny. You never had anybody tell you that their hair grows from the end?
What I get is the sideburns. And just like this comment says, they'll come in like 2 weeks later and they'll be like, look, my sideburns. I think you got a bad tube of color. I think you got, a defect. Something went wrong. Or I think you didn't put enough. I'm like, no. Like 2 weeks later, your hair grows like a weeds. You're in every 3 weeks for a touch up. So your hair grows astonishingly faster than average. Okay.
John, that's a good one, because listen, just 2 days ago, I'm walking through the salon, the newest hairdresser in my shop, Angel, doing a consultation. And I just, out of niceness, I asked, hey, Angel. She's like, yeah, hello. I said, all good. You need any help here? And she's running a program right now where she's doing a lot of free people to build her business. And so I said, you need any help here? And she goes, actually, I do. I said, okay. And the client looks like, who's this guy walking through? And I said, hey, I'm the owner. And she's like, oh, nice to meet you. And shakes my hand. I said, I just want to make sure y'all on track. Everything's going good. Any questions? And she's saying, well, she wants, and she starts describing, she's got a dark band, lots of gray, but a dark band of grow out. But she's obviously doing all these terms that are basically saying lighten the roots, break the base, tap the roots. There was so many names in my own salon. People are like, oh, are you going to break the base? I think I'm going to tap the roots. Oh, I'm going to light. I said, you're just going to put color on her root. You're just going to color her roots a little lighter, right? All these fancy words. I'm not sure if the fancy words mean something different than what I think they mean. So yes, okay. And highlight. And she's wondering, can I do it all at the same time? And I'm like, oh my God, there's so many choices here. You can do it so many different ways. And I totally forgot what my point was here. Break the base. Oh, here it is. So she's talking to me about coloring her roots a little lighter. And the client says, now listen, I do have one thing to tell you. And all the years that I've been coloring my hair, one thing I've learned is that if I use an ash, because I was like, do you do your own hair? Do you have a hairdresser? Like, sometimes I do my own and I buy this kind of color, but I can never buy an ash color because one hairdresser told me one time that ash turns my hair red. And then she keeps on going and she's still talking. And then I said, whoa, 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 whoa. I think I just processed what you said. Ash can't turn your hair red. And then the hairdresser in the next station goes, I was wondering if you were going to say anything about that. She said, I caught it right away, but I didn't want to interrupt you guys. And she's a more experienced stylist. She's doing her haircut over here. And she's like eavesdropping, but she's minding her own business. But as soon as I say it, she's like, I was wondering, it took you a minute to catch that, huh? Ash turning red. And I said, and I was like, yeah, Stacey, that did take me a second because I'm listening. Yeah. I must be processing about 2 seconds slow. And then I said, no, that can't happen. And she says, and it was a good learning experience for all the hairdressers around in the confidence in my voice. Cause I was like, let's dive into that just a second. Why do you think ash turned your hair red? One time a hairdresser did my hair and it turned a little red. I said, you guys, you hear the key word here? One time that hairdresser messed up. And she goes, you think so? I said, no, yes. I mean, 35 years of doing hair. I have never seen ash turn somebody red, but you know what I have done? Grabbed the wrong color bottle before. I've grabbed somebody. I have picked up somebody else's mixed color off the counter. I mix color. They switch the bowls, and I go out there with the wrong color.
Oh, that would be all. That's terrible when that happens.
Yeah. So I mean, the hairdresser. Yes, I guess a company could make a mistake. Some hair color could get expired and do something weird, but ash does not turn hair red. There's somewhere there's a mistake. Rarely is it going to be the company putting the wrong color in the bottle. It's most likely we grabbed the wrong bottle, the wrong bowl, mixed the wrong stuff, and we got some mess up. But you could go right back again and fix it with actual ash, and most likely fix it. A lot more to that, but when I told her that, she thanked me. The client, she goes, "Oh, thank you. I've been living so many years thinking ash would turn my hair red." And you're right, it only happened once. It was probably a mistake. I said, right. No matter whose mistake it was a mistake. Because we're going to be using ash on your hair today.
Yeah, right. And you ain't going to be red.
And her hair was beautiful at the end. And she loved, they took pictures. They said she liked it. I didn't stay for the end. So I was like, well, that's good. Because I was a little worried. Like, oh, God, if ash turns her hair red, we're going to know today. And so they're like, so half neutral or natural and half ash is what you said. I said, let's not do half and half. Let's just do about a quarter or a little less than that of the formula in ash, just to ash it up a little bit. But I'm a little worried about this ash.
In extreme cases, if the color line that the stylist is using doesn't have a primary base, it's got a secondary base to it, and just there's so many variables involved for that to even possibly occur. And then the client would have to have some kind of build up. There would be no clarification or prep work being done. There would be something else pre-existing on the client's hair too. The stars, there'll be like a solar eclipse. Jupiter's moon would be, mixed up with Saturn having an affair. And then ash would turn the hair red.
Maybe that's what happened.
There are a lot of variables in hair color. There always are. But yeah, like you're saying, the chances for that to occur are so minimal, so minimal to practically zero, practically none.
This is the marketing company that we use to promote our salon locally. I did not mean to wear it today, but I'm going to send a link of this video to our marketing company so that they can see that I'm promoting Encompass. It's
sponsoring.
Yeah, they have to pay for this video. It's how we get our new hair replacement and hair extension clients in our salon, or at least most of them. And I saw them at the American Hair Loss Council a weekend or so ago, and they give these shirts away to their clients. And I just love the feel of the material. I would wear it.
I was waiting for you to get done, Bernard, because when you were done talking, I was going to say, is there anything in particular that you like about that T-shirt? Because you love the material of that T-shirt.
I love the material.
You are
Yeah.
so funny. You crack me up, man.
The shirts used to be teal, and I like to wear black. So I'd wear the teal ones around the house because I like the way they feel. When they went black, I was like, I could wear that to work. But I don't really like marketing for companies with names on my shirt. But this was an accident today. So now we get to get sponsored.
What is the fat? What is it? We got to find out the material of them shirts. I mean, we got to get you some t-shirts.
We've got some rayon and polyester, but I think it's only 25% cotton. I like cotton in my shirts. I usually like 100% cotton, but for some reason, this feels better than most synthetic fabrics. I just don't like synthetic on me. So what? Funny. So I know we're talking mostly about, are we just talking about funny stuff in general in the hair business?
Funny stuff in general. So I got one for you.
Go.
I had a painter, a client. She's a painter.
Okay.
So, and she does like big, like commercial paintings that you hang up in buildings and office buildings and stuff. So as she comes in for her hair to get colored, she naturally always has a speck of paint in her hair somewhere, and you got to sit there and comb it out,
Yeah, yeah.
And I have a teasing comb. Do you know that blue teaser comb with the pick at the end?
Oh yeah.
So sometimes I'll use that to get the paint flecks out because I like how the little teats in there will grab
the little fins on the side of the teeth, right?
Yeah. So sometimes I'll use that. Sometimes I'll use my tail comb. I have a very tight tail comb. Sometimes I'll use a lice comb, depending on how bad how much paint she's got up in her hair.
Right.
So she sees me constantly switching brushes and combs all the time when I'm going through her hair. Sometimes I use a paddle brush. Sometimes I use a round brush. Sometimes I use a bone comb. Like I'm always using something on her hair, right? It just depends on how much paint she's got in her hair. So she comes in the one time, she got a ball on the side of her head of matting. And I'm like, what did you do to yourself? She goes, I tried to do like you, except it didn't work, obviously. I'm like, obviously, what did you do? She goes, well, I don't have any brushes, but I have paintbrushes. So I figured if I, clean a paintbrush and I just kind of run the paintbrush through my hair, the bristles look like the bristles of one of your she was talking about one of my boar bristle extension brushes, the 2-tier extension brush. Yeah. She's like, yeah, my paintbrushes are kind of like jagged a little bit. So it kind of looked like that brush you had. So I figured if I ran that through my hair, maybe it would, separate the hair, but it kind of made it worse.
How would that make it worse? I would think it wouldn't do anything at all because the bristles would just like flop back out.
But she's got paint specks in her hair. So she's sitting there jamming the brush into the side of her head rather than trying to comb it through.
And she's just teasing it and tangling
her hair without realizing she's teasing her hair, right?
That's hilarious.
So then she goes, well, I was eating lunch and I'm sitting there trying to pick at my head and it's hurting. And I figured, the fork looks like that other comb you have with the.
Oh my God, this goes further.
Oh, it gets insane. It's so much fun. This was I had such a laugh that I ended up giving her a discount on her hair that day because I had such a freaking laugh. I should have charged her more, but
yes, a fork. She used a fork.
She's sitting there eating. So just imagine she's sitting there eating lunch, and she's looking at her fork. She thinks of my teasing comb, my cheater comb with the pick at the end. Yep. She goes, well, that's got a couple of prongs. My fork's got a prongs.
Yeah.
So she sits there. She says, I tried to start forking through my hair. What?
Wow.
She goes, it kind of worked and it kind of didn't work. And then it got worse and I kept messing with it and I was stuck in traffic and I kept playing with it and playing with it. By the time I got home, it had gotten worse. She goes, my daughter was playing with her Barbie doll. And my daughter had like this small little thing, this small little toy brush. Yep. She was brushing the Barbie.
It's pink.
You know what she's talking about. Okay.
I got one. Yeah.
Okay. No. And I never played with Barbies. I don't know. So I'm like,
okay. Go ahead. This is a safe place. I won't tell anybody.
Barbie was the hostage for my GI Joes. I used to steal my sister's Barbie doll and throw her as a hostage, damsel in distress that needed to get rescued.
Yeah.
But I never got to play with the brushes. But so she's sitting there trying to describe to me that that brush reminded her of my tight teeth rat tail comb.
Okay.
You know? So she's trying to mimic everything she sees me doing behind the chair. And she's trying to like MacGyver her own version. And nothing is working, and it's only getting worse and worse and worse.
And she's probably not doing all the strokes in the correct direction. She's probably like going.
She's doing nothing in the correct. No, she was telling me she was lifting her hair up and combing it upwards, outwards, sideways, diagonal, every which way except for natural fall.
Do not try this at home. I mean, now
Do not try this at home.
Do you see what John put? Your color did not stick.
Oh yeah. You always get those comments as well too, right? So yeah, she hits me with a brush is a brush is a brush. Really, what's the difference? I'm like, obviously there's a difference. Look at the side of your head. So that was a funny one. I always remember.
Maybe it wasn't the tools. Maybe it's the person. You know, because sometimes you can use an inferior tool if you got if you understand what, like a fork could work. A fork could actually work. It would take a little longer.
I've done it at restaurants.
Yeah.
I've you know how many times oh man, I don't know how I want to say this. I have to admit more than I want to. I've spent a lot of time in the girls' bathroom fixing girls' hair.
That's funny.
And then another woman will walk in to use the bathroom. She'll see me standing behind another woman at the counter, and I got my hands in her hair, and I'm trying to fix it out.
Now you got a line. Do mine.
It's so messed up because, you know, initially they'll walk in, they'll stare, they'll do a double take, like, what is happening? The lady will look at her and say, he's my hairdresser. She'll be like, oh, did your hair get messed up? Like, and then she'll immediately forget that she was going to the toilet. She'll stand in the mirror and start adjusting her hair too. And I'm like, it reminds me of this universal thing. I seen this TikTok video. Somebody sent me a TikTok video yesterday. It was a video of a guy. He says, girls, you want a mind-blown moment? Listen to this. Every guy, if you know, you know. He said, when you're in the shower, you cup your hand up to your chest, you let the water pool up, and you get yourself a nice little puddle in cupped up in your hand. And then you let it go, and you let the water splash. And he goes, and guys, if you know, you know. And then the girl reacting to the video is going, why would you cup your hand to your chest and let the water fill up and then just drop it? Like, what the hell? What? And in her, she was live streaming something, and the reactions in her chat was all like, yeah.
I got to say, I don't know, but go ahead.
You don't do that in the shower?
They don't have to explain it to me, but no.
Yeah. So this was like being in the girls' bathroom. Other women walk in, they see me doing some other woman's hair, and then they start immediately looking at their hair in the mirror, and I'm going,
right, because we all got to be compared. Everybody's comparing.
So yeah, I've used fork, I've used bobby pin, I've used all kinds of
the counter. So you have a list here. You have another one.
Another one that I got is, you know, the whole refrigerator. The refrigerator is for food. The refrigerator is not a product supply house for you to go raiding to do your hair with.
Oh my God. That's not true. I think that mayonnaise and peanut butter and beer. That's a great topic right now. What are all the grocery store items that you've heard that people put in their hair? God, that's a freaking list right there, huh?
It's huge.
Between laundry detergent and dishwashing detergent for doing something with color, from all the. Well, what you ever use eggs for anything?
Yes, yeah, the eggs. We talk about Dawn dish soap all the time with hair extension.
Yeah, heck, we use that one. So. Mayonnaise as a conditioner, peanut butter for removing gum from the hair. It's really the oil in there. There are so many.
The beer's got the wheat germ in it, and that helps to re-moisturize and rehydrate. You know, when you run a marathon, well, I don't know if you run have you ever ran a marathon?
A 5K one time.
A 5K?
I didn't run the whole thing. I was a little out of shape.
Okay, no.
I got to the end.
Did they have a beer tent at the end?
Oh yeah. but that was the drink.
But no, but they tell you, like, when you run a marathon, they have like a pasta dinner for you to carb load before the marathon. Okay. And then afterwards they want you to drink beer, like responsibly, obviously. And it's supposed to rehydrate you, or it's supposed to like balance you back out again.
Huh.
So people used to do the beer through their hair, you know, beer rinse.
Is it a pH thing or what is it?
The wheat germ in the beer is it bonds with your hair and it balances you out. Just like white vinegar,
vinegar, yeah.
White vinegar. We used to do the cold rinse and then a vinegar rinse afterwards, you know, at the salon. We used to do that a lot, especially for the weekly perms. It would really help lock down the cuticle.
Rubbing alcohol for removing blood in hair.
Rubbing alcohol is a good one. Lemon juice with cigarette ash. You know, that was always my go-to color remover.
so many refrigerate or pantry items in refrigerator. That's crazy.
Here's the craziest one. The vitamin C, you know those vitamin C tablets from
like a capsule?
The capsules?
It's got a liquid in it. So you're taking it out of there and putting it on your hair?
No, not the liquid, just the aspirin form, like the pill form, not the liquid form.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very expensive fix, but if you crush up those vitamin C tablets and mix it with a little bit of water to turn it into a little bit of paste, get the chlorine out your hair. Like if you turn green, you know, get that little green tinge.
Vitamin C tablets will reverse the green. Well, that's interesting.
Again, it's a very expensive fix. I don't recommend it to do it all the time, but in a pinch.
I always wondered if the red dye in ketchup would. I've never heard of ketchup used for anything, but I just wondered if the red would counteract the green because it is so red.
So then you've got the ketchup, you got the Kool-Aid, you got the sun, you know, like the people used to do the sun in, you know?
Right. So I had a lot of friends that, hydrogen peroxide, they just spray. That's all sun in ever was.
Oh, yeah.
Spray it in your hair, it'll lighten it on its own. But then, of course, if you get out in the sun, it's going to speed it up. So many things.
We got the comment, Windex fixes everything.
I do love Windex. I mean, I use Windex to clean anything and everything, but I definitely don't put my elbow in it like in the movie. Go ahead.
Do you drink soda? Do you drink Coca-Cola?
I don't drink any. I mean, I'll take a sip of a soft drink every once in a while just to clean out my pipes. But I don't drink them. Every once in a while, if my wife or my son has a soft drink, I'm like, let me have a sip just to kind of clean out my mouth, kill everything in my body.
I got you. Right. Well, that I don't.
That's what it feels like because I just don't drink soft drinks. When I take a sip, I'm like,
yeah, the amount of acid that's in that thing, man.
Burn. I feel like this is definitely like Drano for my body. It's killing everything through. I think a sip every once in a while is good for cleaning out my pipes. But go ahead.
Then you're not going to be able to answer my question because I don't drink soda either. And I was going to say, like, I've seen videos where they'll use a Coca-Cola to remove rust off the car, like off a bumper, you know, like the old car.
Yeah.
Would Coca-Cola work as a clarifying shampoo for the hair? Would it remove everything off the hair? Would you have any hair left if you put it on your head?
Yeah, it's a serious product. They got a lot of videos about what Coke will do in it. Most of them are not good. So yeah, I don't know that one. A lot of my funny stories with hair is just in the hair extension world because I did so many hair extensions. I just love all the techniques that people tried to use at home to do their own hair. And we even did that one where that lady tried to bond her own hair on with Gorilla Glue. And there's the crazy stuff that people do with extensions. But then just a more serious knowing your product. I remember one time when Britney Spears had some dark streaks through her hair, and a girl brings in a magazine and says, I want some lowlights. They call them highlights. I want some dark brown highlights like this to like Britney Spears. And I'm looking at it and they're pretty chunky. And I said, God, that looks like extensions. And she goes, ooh, I don't know if I'd like extensions. I want to do what she does. And I said, let me see that book for a minute. I started reading the article and it says, Britney uses hair extensions to put the lowlights in her hair. I said, did you even read this article? It says she's using extensions just like I recommend, because once you've bleached your hair so many times, like you're obviously doing yourself at home again with all the gold bands and oh, the damage, I could tell she was bleaching her own hair. Your hair is so, I didn't say it exactly like this, but this is what I'm thinking. And of course, you can do the clean-up, sugar-coated version that I probably did her. But in my mind, I'm thinking, your hair is so fried, girl. There's no integrity there anymore. It won't even hold color. If we're lucky, it's just going to stay some like color of my stick here that I'm playing with. It's going to be some golden orange color, no matter what brown. We could color it black, or anything else is going to fade so fast that extensions, we can put whatever color you choose and they'll stay. And that's what Brittany did. If you want to be like Brittany. And then she says, okay, good idea. And it was about the same price, because it wasn't like we were doing a full head of extensions. We were just putting a few lowlights in there. So just being experienced and calling people out and knowing your craft. I mean, the confidence, I guess, could come across as arrogance if you get really mad and say it like I just said it. You got to be a little nicer. But that's kind of the attitude. Like, I know what I'm talking about, and I think you're wrong. But let's read this article and just see. Yep, you're wrong. And of course, you want to nicely tell them they're wrong. So that's always been fun for me, is just seeing people's reactions when they want hair extensions and they don't really know what they're talking about. And then they say, so where do you get the hair? And I, without a pause, dead people. And then they're like, I wonder what they're thinking. Like, oh, and by the way, if you're watching this video, we don't get the hair from dead people. But I say dead people kind of quickly and then look at their face, because they're thinking, I wonder how soon after. Okay. Because they got relatives that have died and they're wondering, like, do you just take all dead people's hair? Is it certain people? Do you have to put it on the back of your license like a donor? Or is this something the funeral home's just stocking up? And before they
it's a conspiracy.
Yeah, right. Before they close the casket, are they taking the hair? And I have loved ones that died. I don't want to give their hair. I wonder if, so I don't know how far the thought process goes, but that's how my sick mind works. I'm just wondering.
Did you see there was an article that some news outlet, something or other, they wrote about grave robbing? Like they literally wrote this article saying that these hair extension companies got nothing else better to do but go to the cemetery at night, dig up people's graves, and shave their heads to get the hair.
Yeah, that's not going to be worth it. John is on a roll here, but he's reminded me of some stuff that I want to talk about with color, sugar in the beer. Sugar in the beer adds shine, strong coffee to tone, Windex fixes everything. Yeah, so that's probably one of my most favorite subjects in the salon is, and we've talked a little bit about this in the past, and we don't have to go much further than this, but all the reasons why a sorry-ass hairdresser's color didn't take. What are they? We want to put it on the client why we screwed up. Like, oh, are you on your monthly cycle? That's what it is. That's what it is. You're going to have to come back again next week and pay again. And then I won't mess up. And then it'll probably take because it was your fault. Do you have well water? Do you have city water? Do you have chlorine in your water? Do you have a whole house filter? Did you take an aspirin? Did you drink coffee this morning? Are you over 50? You know what? It's the barometric pressure. I think it was going to. I think that morning that we colored your hair yesterday or this morning, it was about to rain. And I think it's the storm.
I felt it in my bones.
Yeah, sucked everything out of the air that forces the color to actually take on your hair. I mean, are you pregnant? Are you not pregnant?
Are you sure?
Are you like, I'm going straight to the drugstore to get a pregnancy test, right? Yeah. So the excuses, I work next to hairdressers and I would listen to in other salons. I never allowed it to happen in my salon. I'm like, don't you use stupid excuses why your color didn't take. I mean, or why you messed up on your color. You know, you must be on well water. There must be minerals in your water. Didn't react right with the color. No, you just picked the wrong freaking color, or you didn't clarify first. I mean, these excuses, they really kill me. You don't hear or see that much anymore, but I think it was in the early days of hairdressers learning how to do color. They use so many excuses. I think we got John on a rampage here too now. Kool-Aid will actually stain the hair. Yeah, so we've used Kool-Aid as an original low end cheap, not as a hairdresser, but friends at home as a kid, you know, use
Yeah, for fun.
to turn blonde. And it's going to be more blonde hair. But have you ever heard the excuses of why people's color didn't color the right way?
I heard these excuses, Bernard? I'm the one that coined these excuses.
You use some of them when you didn't do color?
Oh yeah, I even ask sometimes. I go, "What's your star sign?" Maybe your chart isn't in alignment. You know,
because you messed up. Did you know
their hair met? No, their hair met. I didn't mess up. Their hair messed up. Okay. And it's not the fault of the client, nor is it the fault of the stylist. They got a bad tube of color with the hair that messed everything up because their star chart didn't line up with their astrological, reading for the day.
You're going to make some people mad. Some people believe all that stuff.
I'm telling you, because this is unfortunately, you got to be mindful of when the harvest moon comes and when the eclipse is next.
I don't know anything about it. I don't really know how any of that works.
Some of the stuff you mentioned is bollocks. Some of the stuff you mentioned, there is some merit to it, but ultimately,
come on, like what?
But ultimately,
the merit.
Well, some of what you said.
Tell me one. I want to know the barometric pressure.
The barometric pressure is a good one. I've heard that too. I've never used that one, but I have heard that one. The hormones, though. The hormones is really a thing. The medication is really a thing, and the water source really is a thing. But it's not an excuse. It's a thing that should be mentioned or discovered during the consultation. So then when you go to mix, you bring those two bits of information together and you properly formulate and adjust and do the service the right way, how you're supposed to do. Just because you missed that key bit of information, during the consult, and then you didn't put those twos together, you messed up. Like, the hair messed up, but it's your fault too. You messed up. You missed, But there is some, like I said, there is some merit to some of the things, but some of the excuses, when I used to have to make the consultation phone calls when I was first starting in the salon.
I remember you talking about this before, and this is good.
It's hilarious.
Did you think you were crazy when you were doing this at the time?
I did. I was so embarrassed. I hated because of the responses, because of the client's responses.
Who was making you do this? A mom, an aunt? What was it?
My aunt.
Your aunt. Go ahead. Tell the story.
She was a colorist. She was a really good colorist.
Yeah.
But she had this insane theory. So it would go something like this. Madam, calling to confirm you have a 10 o'clock tomorrow morning for your color appointment. Just want to remind you, do not wash your hair tonight. Do not have cigarette or coffee. Do not have sex tonight and or tomorrow morning. Make sure you come with the dirty hair, just confirming your appointment. And then the responses would say, oh my God, you better have a fresh pot of coffee ready for me if I can't have coffee, or somebody else would say, you better have a pack of smokes, but then it would be
back then they smoked in the salon while you're doing their hair, right?
Oh yeah. Right there, and then it would be even worse. It would be like, oh, thank you so much. Tell her I love her. I have an excuse tonight.
Right.
I don't. Oh God.
Said I can't have sex tonight. Can you imagine? I'm a coffee drinker. And so if you told me I couldn't have coffee the night before or in the morning, I'd be freaking out too, especially if my appointment was like 2 o'clock in the day. No way. I'd have to have a morning appointment, first of all, and I might not be able to make it. And yes, you'd have to have coffee for me also. As soon as you put the color on my hair, how soon can I drink this coffee? Because I've been needing it.
But this was the more
what the heck did the sex do? Like, not having sex is going to make.
The thought was, anything that will stimulate a blood flow will thin the blood and make the scalp more sensitive because the chemical content in the color was so high that you needed to have dirty hair to block some of that, and you needed to have thicker blood so you wouldn't itch.
And so that's why there's no caffeine either for the coffee.
No caffeine, no nicotine. No blood stimulation, no blood flow, nothing. You had to be like a dead fish.
Just come in sad.
Right.
Try not to smile, and no smiling.
No, nothing, right? And it would be hilarious. These
women would flow.
They would come in. This was my whole routine. I check them into the front desk. I take them back to the station. I'd sit them down, drape them, prep them, everything, right? And then I would have to go, and I felt like the cocktail girl at the casino back in the movies. Cigar, cigarette, I felt like a Betty Boop,
Betty Boop.
Would you like a Camel? It was always the Marlboro Red. I don't know why we had any other pack of smoke. It was always Marlboro Red. And then we would go get them a coffee. We'd give them a stir.
Cigarette.
And this is as they're getting their hair color applied. Yeah. They'd be downing a cup and puffing away while they were getting their color applied.
It was okay to do it then.
What's that?
It was okay to get your blood flow up as the color was being applied. It just
right somehow. Well, so then here was the other craziness.
Is your aunt still alive?
Yes.
Still doing hair?
I think she's retired now.
Okay. Okay. Just wondering.
But we would bring. So then I would go to make the coffee. I would get 2 packs of sugar and 2 packs of Splenda. I would give the client the sugar. I'd go give my aunt the Splenda so she can mix it into the color to avoid the burn.
I've heard of Sweet and Low. I didn't know Splenda worked the same.
Or excuse me, Sweet and Low, not Splenda. I was so used to saying not Splenda, Sweet and Low. Should have bought stock in freaking Sweet and Low. But yeah, I'd give the 2 packs of sugar to the client in case they wanted that with their coffee. I'd go give my aunt the Sweet and Low. She'd put that into her little color mixture bowl.
So
I'd give the client 2 coffee stirs. One was to mix their coffee. The other one was to. And then while they were processing, my job was to go around the salon, collect all the ashtrays.
Ashes. That's funny to me too. And you tell everybody why you collected ashes.
Oh, so I go around, collect all the ashtrays. Wasn't to clean the ashtrays. It was to keep the ashes. And then she would have me mix in some lemon juice to make it smell better, or the acidity from the lemon or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I never thought about the smell.
And like make it into a paste. And then that's what we used to use for the stain remover around the hairline. It worked.
I remember I worked with hairdressers that used ashes also, but they just put their finger in the ashtray and just picked up ashes. And then
my aunt was classy. My aunt was very high end.
High end ashes. Yeah. And I guess it worked, huh? I've never used ashes.
Every time.
You think it was the lemon juice also, or just?
I really think it was to make it smell a little better. I don't really understand how the acidity from the lemon.
And to make a paste out of it. Maybe the ashes stayed.
And to make a little paste. Yeah. Oh, and then 7-Up. She used to make me go get 7-Up. So if somebody was having irritation at the shampoo bowl, we used to pour a can of 7-Up over their head because it had the same active ingredient like the Sweet and Low, that saccharin.
Must have been a 7-Up. Well, it must have been the diet 7-Up then, huh?
Whatever that sweetener is in Sweet and Low.
Saccharin, I think, but regular 7-Up would have been sugar. Maybe it was the diet 7-Up. You don't remember now, huh?
I don't. You're talking 25, almost 30 years ago, you're talking.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was still to this day, it's hilarious to me.
So my mom had a in-house salon when I was a kid. And so the hydraulic chair in the armrest of the chair, kind of like in a plane, had a little silver opening. There was an ashtray right in the armrest of the chair. I mean, we had, it's funny to me how many ashtrays are still lingering from the smoking inside times. You still see in some airplanes where you'll see the ashtray in the bathroom sealed shut, no smoking sign right over, but you've still got ashtrays just lingering around from way back when you could smoke, and now they're just there to have change put in or whatever. Like they don't even make vehicles with ashtrays anymore. But it wasn't too long ago, most of your cars still had an ashtray somewhere and still had the cigarette lighter.
I think a lot of vehicles still have cigarette lighters somewhere.
Yeah, but they don't have the part that you push in that gets.
No, it's just a cap. It's just
like we use it as a power source, but it's left over from the cigarette lighter days, It's funny that that same thing, you can put something in there and power. I mean, I know an electrician can understand why, but for the most of us, we're like, so I can just put something in there and it doesn't burn, or I can put something else in there and it makes a red hot coils.
Oh, that was just a coil inside that cigarette burner. There was just a coil in there that heated up from the current.
Right. So I wonder if the modern day cigarette lighters, if you put an old fashioned like coil thing and stuck it in there, because you remember you had to like stick it in and it would like collapse.
And then you'd have to click it in. Yeah, yeah.
When it popped out, it was ready to light whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I find that fascinating. So we still got the cigarette lighter from back in the day to power our cell phones. Potentially our vapes. To charge.
Would that work? No, because aren't those all USB now?
As a charger, right? Well, the cigarette lighter side, right? So a lot of vehicles are just changing over to the USB or the Lightning. I don't know if it's called Lightning. I don't know that other little smaller thing now.
Yeah.
Into. I know it's kind of interesting to watch the world change in so many ways, and in the salon world, for sure. I'm all out of funny stuff as far as I can remember.
Fun. This was a fun week, you know.
About the crazy days. I'm going to probably think of a lot more during the day today, and then we can go live again at 5 this evening and finish up.
There you go. Tune in.
You finished your list? Did you get everything off your list?
Yeah. Like I said, this was a loose, fun, a light, fun one.
I'd like people to comment their wildest, craziest, funniest, like salon experience, because I love this kind of stuff. I would love to read the comments later if anybody has them. Let us know what crazy experience you have in a salon. There's got to be crazier than what we've
crazy experience. Your favorite excuse that you like to use.
Why your color didn't take, or not excuse, your real reason.
Or your real reason. Yeah.
Your real reason.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah. So John says they used to add 7-Up to formulas too. Oh yeah, just like you saying, pour it on the head. It would add 7-Up to a color formula. Thank you for watching, guys.
Catch you next week.